Images are what make a site go from dull and boring to an interesting site people will want to visit. We'll look at using Photoshop files in Dreamweaver, doing simple rollovers, disjointed rollovers, and more. Let's get started. The images are waiting. Before we get started with this chapter, we need to define our site so we can see all of our files and our assets. So go over to your Files panel, choose Manage Sites, click New. This is going to be Chapter 5. We're going to go to our local files here. They happen to be on your desktop, Project, Files, and once on Chapter 5, right-click if you're on a PC if you would like and choose Select. I will go ahead and choose, and now I can click Save. Now click Done. Now you should be able to see your files in your Files view. Let's talk about our styles for just a minute. Now I will collapse some of my other panels here so we can take a look at these. Go ahead and click on your Assets tab, and you'll see because we have a site defined, in our very first little button here is our images. So all the images that are in our site, regardless of what folder that they are in, appear in your Asset panel. And I can click on them and actually see a view of them in my panel. The next button down in my Assets panel is my colors. So my colors of what I've used so far inside of my site. This is great to have up when you're building your CSS, so you can make sure and use the correct color scheme if you're planning something new in CSS. My next button down is my URLs. I can see what URLs that I have selected and any external URLs that I happen to have in my files as well. My next button down is my Flash. So what Flash files am I able to see, and what Flash files do I actually have? If I pull my panel out far enough, I can see a preview of all of my Flash files. Shockwave is my next button down. We don't see Shockwave files that much anymore. They're really used a lot for gaming, and we don't have any games in our particular file, so we don't have any Shockwave files. My next button down is Flash Video. At the moment, I don't have any video in my file for this particular chapter. We will later on. Scripts is next, so any scripts that I might happen to have in my file, and this is where I would also be keeping any scripts that I might have that I've either created myself or gotten from javascript.com, javascript.org, or some other location. Templates are a great way to work within a team environment. If I have at least one or two people that know Dreamweaver really, really well, they can set up the templates, and then your other team members that may not know Dreamweaver as well will be able to fill in just the content. This works great in a situation where you have different departments, and maybe the different departments are only in charge of certain parts of the content. That way you don't have to worry about them disturbing any other files that happen to be on the page, such as navigation, etc., and they can concentrate on just the area that they need to change. Next down is my library items. Library items are great. Now there's different ways to think about library items, but a good example of a library item would be your footer, your copyright content. So imagine that it is 2010 now. Next year, I might want to update my copyright. Do I want to touch every single page in my entire site, or do I want to go to one place and update that particular bit of information to the next year? That's what library items are great for. So you make your footer into a library item, and then next year when you need to update it, all you need to do is go to one place, update the library, and you have a brand new year inside of your copyright. Phone number changes, etc. work great for the library feature. We'll make sure and show you how to do that later.